Hmm. Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, the Black Business School. I am sitting here, and I was I promised you guys I would go live again one more time tonight before I went to bed. So I'm not going to be in here for too long, but I thought that I would be a man of my word and follow through on what I said I would do earlier. So what I decided to do was to do a quick Dr. Boyce Exposed segment. In case you don't know what that is, that's where I just come in and I will answer any question that you have. Make it a short question if you can, and I will answer any question you have. I will answer it honestly, and you can ask me any question on any topic that you want. So if it's a financial question, that's fine. If it's a question about life, that's fine. A brother was asking me questions about dating. How do you go about dating and choosing the right woman? And that was a fun conversation. We talked about that on Instagram. My Instagram's the real Boyce Watkins. If you want to go check that out, and I'll answer his question too. So what I'm going to do is shout out. Feel free to shout out your city also. I'd like to know what cities you guys are coming from. Let's see, Drama World Inc. How do I obtain wealth without going to college? Learn how to start a business, learn how to invest in the stock market, and learn how to buy real estate. Those are the three things you want to learn. That's more important than going to college. If you learn those three things, then fuck college. You don't need college. If you really know how to run a business and you know how to invest in the stock market and you know how to buy real estate, and then you can read, write, and do math, you don't need college. I'm just telling you. If you know those things, you do not need college. I know people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but I've been a college professor for 25 years. I taught my first college class when I was 22 years old. Yeah, 22. I just turned 22. Make sure I'm doing the math. Yeah, I was a young 22. Right? I was teaching at Indiana University, so I know what colleges can do, and I think it's valuable. But if you obsess yourself, like you spend, say, maybe count up your time. Like if you spend like 500 hours studying entrepreneurship, another maybe 50 hours learning how to invest in the stock market, another maybe 200 hours learning real estate. You don't need college. I'm just telling you the honest to God truth. You can go out and make millions of dollars. In fact, I did a video on financialjuneteenthtv.com. If you go to financialjuneteenthtv.com, there's actually a video I did on how to build a financial time machine. And it's a concept I just came up with where basically people are used to trading time for money, years of their lives for income. And I said, you don't have to do that. You can actually make money without trading years of your life. A business owner doesn't have to give time for money. They don't have to think like, oh, well, if I make $20 an hour, I work 1,000 hours, I can have $20,000. No, a business owner says I can make $20,000 in 20 minutes if I sell the right product to the customer and have the right system set up. So you want to make money through systems and entrepreneurship, not just through this trade-off of time for money. That is antiquated. It doesn't work that well. It leaves you frustrated. And it really sucks because you're black. So anyway, I'm trying to get my light right. Let me turn my lights so that I don't look so crazy in here. Let's see here. I mentioned you in a couple of videos of mine on your Poise Pro acronym. Yeah, Poise. Poise is what we teach our kids in the Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program, which is at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Poise means producer, owner, investor, saver, entrepreneur. That's what you want your kids to do. So when we teach children, we put our children through business school at the age of 6, 7, 8 years old. We have 9, 10-year-olds now who have $10,000 in the bank, $8,000 in the bank, $5,000 in the bank because they started investing. Anyway, one thing that we teach them is to keep your poise. These are models that I put together. These are not models that are in anybody's textbook. I'm authorized to write textbooks, so I create things for Black people. And so keeping your poise means you want your child to remember those words: producer, owner, investor, saver, entrepreneur. If they focus on those things, then they're going to be very successful economically. What's the best way to reach you to share something flat out amazing? I want to share this blessing with you. Email manager@boycewatkins.com. That's manager@boycewatkins.com. That's my manager, Michelle. She reviews, a lot of the stuff that comes in. Let's see here. Also, your 3 pillars of wealth. The 3 pillars of wealth are stock and bond investing, real estate investing, entrepreneurship. I'll be in Los Angeles next month. So if you want to hang out in Los Angeles, I'll be teaching the entire day. And Dr. Claude Anderson's coming out, so we're going to do some stuff there as well. You can go to drboycelosangeles.com. That's drboycelosangeles.com. What do you think about Trump addressing the Federal Reserve? I think it's just Trump being Trump. Trump is a little bombastic. He's a bully. He's a little obnoxious. He kind of gets out and yells and screams about stuff. And that's who he is. I don't care about it that one way or the other. Bullies don't bother me. Let me see here. Doctor, I agree with you what you said about college. With some professions, people are called to, they must go to college. That is absolutely true. So I'm not trying to say that, that you shouldn't go to college. I would never say that. I'll say that if somebody says you need to go to college, just say, okay, why should I? Like, if you can't figure out why, and you're just going because somebody told you to go, then that's an easy recipe for ruining your life. If you ever want to figure out the easiest way to ruin your life, just live your life based on what other people tell you to do, and then you're gonna be pissed off because you're gonna get 40 years old. You're gonna be like, shit, my whole life is all fucked up because I was listening to people who don't have to live my life. Even dating, like people will tell you, oh, you need to date him, girl, or that's a good woman. You need to lock her in. Well, if you feel like if somebody else feel like they need to lock your life in with somebody else's, then let them marry the person. Seriously, like you're the one that's got to live with your life, so you need to make that final decision. Do not let other people make decisions for you. Take their advice, get information, soak up the game, but don't let people tell you what to do. That you'll be very unhappy. Let's see here. Uh, let's see here. Uh, I have Jeremiah. If I have products and offers to partner with your systems, how do I contact you? The email address is manager@boycewatkins.com. That's manager@boycewatkins.com. So same thing with you, fella. If you want to do a private session, just email my manager. She can set it up for you. The original American. We are not to refer to ourselves as black. We are indigenous aboriginal natives to this land, and we now call America. Okay, sounds good. I'm still going to call myself black, but tomato, tomato. How do you feel about annuities? I think they're fine. I think as long as you have an investment vehicle and you're happy with it and it gives you the proper ROI, return on investment, then that's fine. Let's see here. Corey, how do I get rid of $20,000 of student loans without going broke? Pay it down piece by piece, but you also probably want to join an investment club and maybe an entrepreneurship club and learn how to make some fast money. The fastest way to make money I've seen is learning how to start a business. If you learn how to start a business and you find a product and a customer, then that's the quickest way to like suddenly triple your income. Forget like going to work every day and waiting 5 years to get a 10% raise. That's nonsense. Let's see here. T and Knox doing our life insurance certifications. Are you still planning on attending Harvest Fest in LA? Says Tamiko. Yes, I will be in Los Angeles. You can go to drboycelosangeles.com if you'd like to learn more. Oh shoot, I saw a question from somebody that's 20 years old. I like the young people. I like talking to the young people too. But I'm 20. My father wants me to obtain wealth the hard way of working for, well, I guess working for other people. Well, your father's not you. So your father's a great man. He raised you. You should always be appreciative of your elders and your parents, but you have to know when to kind of draw that line. Like nobody else has a right to live your life. So you make the final decision. That's my vote. But don't tell your daddy I said that because I don't want him to get mad at me. Let's see. Mary Tate, how can we solve the lack of STEM graduates in the Black community? Shit, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, maybe I think at the very least, I think there are a lot of African centered schools that are doing a far better job of educating Black children than public schools. So if I had a child, I'd send my child to an African centered school. I'd send them to like Freedom Home Academy or a school like the Muhammad University of Islam, which I don't know if you have to be a member of the Nation of Islam to go to that school or not, but there are really great schools out there. I would send them to a place like that where they're going to get love and support and encouragement as opposed to the public schools, which are more like penitentiaries than anything. What are the best ways to make passive income? Entrepreneurship and also real estate's pretty good. This weekend, actually, Julian Gordon in the Black Business School is going to do a free event on how to become a property owner of income producing properties. It's called the Emancipation Equation. You can join for free. It's totally free to the public. It's a free offering from the Black Business School, which is the Harvard University for Black people. It's a school for you, by you. You should come to the event. Go sign up at theemancipationequation.com, THE. That's theemancipationequation.com. I think you would like that. What advice would you give a new business owner? Go talk to some experienced business owners, join some sort of club or something where you can network consistently with people that can give you good advice. Never be the smartest person in the room. Expect an uphill battle and just keep on learning. Keep reading books, stuff like that. Me and my brother are always reading books. Let's see here. Simply Deep, how's your day going, sir? It's going very well. I ran 3 miles today. I'm training for a marathon. It's quite excruciating, but I'm gonna be glad I did it. So I just keep sticking with it, and I really love it. Um, let's see. What are the best types of businesses to start? You know, I guess there's a lot of stuff online. There are lots of places that can show you how to start different kinds of online businesses. Danielle Pierce at economicelevation.com. Her website is economicelevation.com. If you go there, she actually has a list of businesses that you can start where you can make an extra $1,000 a month or something like that if you're just trying to make some extra money. What's up, Bernie Rising? How you doing, man? Bernie used to live across the street from me way back in the day. I still remember Bernie. Was a good dude. Hey, I ain't forgot about you, homeboy. Much respect to you, man. We got to catch up at some point. Mr. Sir, why don't you hold Charlotte Girl accountable? Obviously, he's pandering for the DNC agenda with Kamala Harris. Those Democratic days are over, but hey, I'm sure those brainwashed CNNs will pull through for her. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he's talking about Charlemagne the God, and I don't know his relationship with Kamala Harris. And I mean, I have challenged Charlemagne on Angela Rye. Angela Rye, she bothers me the most because first of all, she's a bitch. She's just a really mean, evil person. I've met her in person. None of us liked her. We were very disappointed in the fact that she was so mean and rude to everybody. At least that's how people felt. A lot of us felt that way. But I think that what probably bothered me most about Angela though is her, kind of attacking Farrakhan the way she did, and really sounding awfully white in terms of how she was just basically saying, well, if I was telling the minister what to do, then I would tell him blah 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 blah. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, shut up. Like, Farrakhan's been fighting for black people long before you were even born, so you probably just need to shut up. Just shut up and go away because you're sounding stupid right now. And so I did challenge Charlemagne on that because Charlemagne is good friends with Angela. I know that. But I love Charlemagne. I like this guy. I mean, he's always been very nice to me, very respectful to me. He even texted me the other day and asked me to come back on the Breakfast Club at some point, which I guess we'll get around to it. We didn't pick a date, but still, it's like, I think that Charlemagne, I would have challenged him to challenge Angela. Like, if Angela's saying that crazy stuff, say something to her about that. I mean, don't just defend the minister. Like, kind of, I think she needs to be set straight on that. So, but at the same time, though, I don't have a big issue with Charlemagne. Like, I think Charlemagne, he's always been, I think he's definitely more of an asset than a liability. And I think you got to remember that. I think that's important. Let's see, Simply Deep, how would you handle an embarrassing moment in your younger days? Learn how to love yourself. If you learn how to love yourself, then you learn how to love the good and the bad about yourself, right? So self-love doesn't mean like I just love myself when I'm doing well. Self-love means I can love myself when I'm not doing well, when I make a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody fucks up. There's nothing that you can do in terms of a fuck up that would make me feel like you're not redeemable. I think that that's important to understand because if you make a mistake, there are always people that are going to give you a hard time about it. And even I make mistakes. Y'all see me make mistakes before, and people are like, Dr. Boyce made a mistake. You blah blah blah. And I learned how to just kind of say, yeah, I made a mistake. I'm stupid sometimes, but sometimes I'm smart, and I'm gonna keep going because I'm just as good as you. I'm not better than nobody, but ain't nobody better than me. And so just, if you make a mistake, just keep it moving. That's the key. There are very few mistakes that can't be compensated with by just simply more audacity. The audacity of continuing to move forward. Just keep moving forward. Don't linger on the past. Just keep moving. That's the key. All right, so let's see here. Mark Murray, how strange is it that Steve Harvey shows were canceled as soon as he purchased controlling ownership in the production? Man, I lost your question, bro. Okay, but I think I got the gist of it. I don't know if there's a conspiracy theory about Steve Harvey losing his show. I think Steve Harvey, I personally think it might have to do with his wife and his wife's ex-husband coming out of prison, writing a tell-all book and telling all her business. I think that they see the drama coming. I do think, though, that his ownership of the show, the negotiating, that's an interesting topic. I could actually address that, in a different video, because I think that there was something where Steve negotiated pretty hard with them, where he has some ownership of his show, and he was making a lot of money from his show, and it was a great deal for him. But the thing is, there's this thing called the winner's curse, and sometimes you win the battle, but you lose the war. It's like if you negotiate for a job and your boss offers you, 90,000, and you somehow pressure them into giving you 120,000. Maybe that's what you're worth. But the problem is, that you may have won the negotiation, but you may have created some bad will with your potential employer. You may be coming in to a hostile environment where they're thinking, okay, as soon as I can get rid of this son of a bitch, I'm going to do it. I'm only paying them this money because I have to. But as soon as I can find a better option, I'm going to get rid of them. And so, so I think maybe with Steve, maybe the network just said, this is not a good deal for us. There are people out there that are just as good, that can draw just as big of an audience, who will give us a better deal. So the minute we get an opportunity to get out of this contract, we're going to do it. I'm not saying Steve made a mistake. I'm just saying that sometimes you win and sometimes you think you won and you lost, and sometimes you think you lost and you really won. So, sure, it's great that he has the ownership of the show and everything else. But, if it's not airtight where they can't, just drop you and just pick somebody with a better deal, that you're going to do what's best for you. They're going to do what's best for them. That's kind of what it is. It's kind of how the world works. I don't even know. I mean, I'm not even equipped to advise Steve on what he should have done because I don't know all the details. But I do think that his ownership of the show probably plays some part in them cutting him. I also think that this drama with his wife and his wife's ex-husband, wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't an issue. But I think Steve is going to be perfectly fine. I mean, Facebook is paying mega millions for shows now. They got Netflix. You got all these places where you can make a show and make money. And I think that that's what Steve's going to do with his brand. He's going to just go online and have some great show, have millions of viewers. And that's where the future's going, honestly. That's where the future's going. I like being online. I'd rather be online than to be on TV or radio because the money's not as good. And also there's no flexibility. I like the flexibility of knowing I can go live when I want to, or I can just not go live, right? But whereas if I'm working for a TV network, I'd be at the office all the time and away from my family. I don't want to do that. I don't want to live that life. So let's see here. What is the best? Okay, wait, I already read that. Harlem, NYC. Hello. What would you recommend for someone like myself looking to invest in the stock market to invest in? We actually can show you how to invest, how to buy your first share of stock. We have a free training that you can get access to right now at blackmoney100.com. That's blackmoney100.com. So just go there and take your family there. We're going to by the end of 2020, we want to have 1 million Black people invested in the stock market. We believe we can do it. Maybe it won't be 1 million, maybe it'll be 100,000, but either way, that's going to be our contribution. So it's totally free. Go to blackmoney100.com and you'll be invested in the stock market in no time. And then if you want to learn more about how the market works and further dynamics, you're welcome to join my masterclass. We meet every Tuesday, twice on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. for Q&A and also at 8 p.m. for the actual lecture. You can go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. It's in the Black Business School. You can get a certificate when you're done, all that good stuff. Let's see here. U.S. with grants because of the schools my daughters attend. Urban League, UNCF are a joke. I'm paying their bills, says Angelique. Okay, don't quite understand that question exactly, but that's very interesting. Okay, so let's see. Mark Wiggins, is there anything? Crap. Mark, I'm sorry, Mark. I lost your question, man. Forgive me, brother. Maybe you can type it in there again. And I can try to catch it the second time. I hit this damn screen and everything disappears. Here we go. Wait, is there anything too little to start investing and get into the stock market? No, actually, no. 250 bucks. That's perfect. You can invest on Stash, Acorns, and Robinhood with $5. Let's see, Mr. Sir, BET, MTV is not the way. Hear about the platform, doctor. BET and MTV are not Black-owned media platforms. So, that's just Viacom stuff. What do you think about, Lorenzo, what do you think about Democratic candidate Marianne Williamson's reparations package? Too little, too small. It's not enough money. It should be in the trillions, several trillion, 5 trillion, 4 trillion, 6 trillion, something like that. But even then, you could actually increase Black wealth by $5 trillion just by spending with your own businesses. If the Black dollar was to circulate in the Black community, say 5 times instead of just once, that would literally multiply our wealth by 5. We would literally go from 1.2 trillion in spending power to almost 6 trillion just by buying with our own, just by keeping our money in our community. Let's see here. Next question. Ross World. As well as your 3 pillars of wealth, I have you credit because it didn't originate from me. My channel, by the way, Dr. Watkins, is Ross World. Okay, so I'm shouting out Ross World. Everybody go subscribe to that channel, please. Jeremiah, oh, wait, I already read your question. Sorry. Dee Dee, good evening, Dr. Boyce. Would you be willing to have someone provide commentary on your platform like Sister Vicky? Yeah, email manager at boycewatkins.com and tell her you'd like to do that. And maybe you can send a video showing us what you can do. If you're good, like I'll share my platform with you. My platform, I don't know what other people do. I mean, I don't understand. You know, there are other people that have YouTube channels that are big or whatever, and it's like all about them all the time. I don't need my platforms to be all about me all the time. You guys have seen me share my platforms with other people. You've even seen me build people up so they can go blast me later. Like you've seen Yvette Carnell come back like, I hate Boyce. He's a son of a bitch. And I just kind of laugh it off. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't a son of a bitch when you asked me to share your article. Now, was I? You know, but still, it's okay. Like I think at the end of the day, you know, success is meant to be shared. So if you have something important to say and you're good at what you do, I don't have any problem sharing your stuff with the community. I want the world to be exposed to good ideas. I want Black people to be able to see other talented Black people. I'm just maybe a conductor to try to, you know, develop platforms because I believe in the creation of Black-owned media. Also, as a professor, I always wanted to teach my own people, and I felt like the internet was the best way for me to teach and reach. Teach, reach, and preach, or teach, preach, and reach, or preach, teach, and reach. I'm trying to figure out the right way to lay that out, but I think that's like a cool way to describe what the agenda is. Mark Tate, how can we solve the, oh, we already answered that. Let's see here. What advice? Oh, we already asked that too. Frederick, does health relate to wealth? Absolutely. A lot of people lose their health trying to make wealth. And then you lose your health trying to get wealth, and then you use your wealth trying to get your health back. So health is wealth. Absolutely. Also, mental health is connected to physical health. So the more your body's in shape, the more you can breathe and think and all this other stuff, and it reduces stress. Because racism especially can like stress you out and kill you. And then also, you know, just generally, I mean, I love working out and feeling good about my body and everything because it's just kind of, I don't know, I just feel better. You know, it's like overall, it's like it makes it easier for me to be energized to do all the other things that I do. So I'm telling you, I highly recommend it. Am I in Tariq's Hidden Colors 5? No, Tariq invited me to be a part of one of them, but not any others. So I must not have done a good job because I don't know. I got to text Tariq, hey man, why am I not in your movies no more? But no, I wish Tariq the best. Tariq and I are friends, and I have a lot of respect for him. So it's not no bad blood at all. Not from my end for sure. Have you seen the video that this dude CD Fury made about you, the dark side of Boyce Watkins? I saw something. I think he makes videos like that about everyone, like the dark side of everybody. So that's one thing. That's a strategy to build up a YouTube channel, is to take famous people, so-called famous people's names, and put them in your video titles, and then other people will watch it, and that's fine. I think that what happens is that the bigger you get, the more mystique there is around you, where people they start to envision things about your life that don't happen with regular people, right? So if you become kind of famous a little, and I guess I'm in that category. I walk down the street in New York and LA and London, and people recognize me on the street. So I guess that's kind of, you know, I guess you would call that fame or something. And so what happens is, like, you know, when you get to that place, people believe that you live a different life from everyone else, which you do. You do. Like I travel more than other people. I've signed so many autographs that my hand was broken. I've been to cities I've never been to and had people lined up out the door to have a chance. It's very flattering. It's it's an extraordinary experience, no question about it. But my life is still the same. Like I still, you know, have to argue with the kids. You know, you still have, you know, things in your relationships you got to figure out. You still have things about your life that you're trying to process. The difference is, I think that you have a level of blessing that is unique. And I believe that blessing should be spent doing a couple things. One, pursuing your passion. I'm very, very big on following your bliss and making, you know, doing something meaningful in this life before you die. And then two, you know, you're supposed to bless others with the blessings that are given to you. So one great thing about being famous is that you can say something to somebody that can make their lives better, like instantly. Like I can say, oh my God, that is a beautiful outfit. And it'll really like mean something to that person. Like they'll remember that forever. And I love that. That's power. And I think power can be used in some amazing and beautiful ways. And I'm very, very happy and blessed and excited about it. And so when people make bad videos, like I just don't pay attention to that stuff anymore. I'm like, I agree with what George Fraser said today on the channel. If you didn't see his interview, you got to watch it. George Fraser is America's leading networking guru. He's a brilliant man, an amazing guy. And he said something I thought was so great. He said, I'm not going to, he said, make a resolution that you will not spend time debating the same Black people that Harriet Tubman would have just shot, right? Do not waste your time debating the Black people that Harriet Tubman would have shot, right? And so that's my argument. You know, if people want to say stuff, okay, say what you're gonna say. But if you guys have a weird question about me, like, okay, like I think one guy said I was backed by the Jewish community, and then I used to sleep with all the white girls, and something else that they said. And I would just answer. I'd be like, no, I've never slept with a white girl in my life. No, nobody gives me money. I wish people did give us more money because then we could get more done. And and that's it. That's what it is, right? You just got it comes with the territory. When am I in London next? I was just in London, so I don't plan to go to London anytime super soon. But I have really good friends with Black History Studies, Mark and Charmaine, that I love so much, and I want to go back and just to do something with them because I just respect those individuals. And Black London, we just actually created an investment club in Black London, or we facilitated the creation of the Black London Asset Acquisition Council, which is an investment club in London, and BLAAC, get it, Black, get it. And basically my job was to bring the people together, and it looks like on WhatsApp that they're already talking and going back and forth. So that's what we want to do in other cities too. And we're going to do it. We're just testing it out right now in London. Let's see here. Hi, how can I schedule a consultation with you? Okay, there we go. So yeah, just email manager@boycewatkins.com. Would you recommend a person use a 401k money to start a business? I'm not going to recommend it, but I would say that if you did it, be very careful if you do it. Just be super careful because you will pay penalties for early withdrawal and all that. But I did it. I mean, it worked out for me, but it may not work out all the time. So just make sure you're really cautious and don't overdo it. Try to find proof of concept. Try to create what they call an MVP, which is a minimum viable product. So try to test out your concept to make sure it actually makes money before you start dumping a bunch of money into something. Like, don't dump a bunch of money into a business that isn't proven. Just don't do that. That's a great way to lose money. Try it out, dip your toe in the water. If it works, then dip 2 toes in the water, right? And if that works, then maybe put half your foot in that sucker. Do not dive in head first. That's how people crack their head open, because there may be no water in the pool, or there may be acid instead of water. Let's see here. Moving down. Do you believe the precious metals like silver and gold are good investments as a hedge against inflation? Sure. I invest in them. I invest in a lot of things. But yeah, they do serve that purpose. Omri, what are some practical improvement strategies to get cooperation from Black people on a project? Don't be an asshole, and look for Black people who are not assholes. I think that's a good start. Also, George Frazier in his video today on drboycetv.com gave really good tips on basically how you can network with people by leading with love. By he is an absolute master at networking and forming good relationships with people. He breaks that down on the channel. You gotta go drboycetv.com, look for that interview. Woo! I mean, he just broke it down. The ability to create, maintain, and preserve relationships is literally the key to becoming wealthy. If you can make friends that, really good friends that love you and trust you, and that you're adding value to, and they want to give value back to you, and you can maintain those relationships and not burn bridges, then you're going to do well. See, the problem is people get mad and they want to go out and just, attack and, oh yeah, F him, fuck him, that son of a bitch, that mother. And you might feel better about yourself when you're doing that. But first of all, you end up looking stupid. Like they say, there's a saying that says 2 people fighting, they both look stupid from a distance. Right. So you might think you're righteous in, going off and attacking somebody and burning a bridge and all this other stuff. But first of all, 2 things are happening. One, you've cut off somebody that might help you. Maybe you're mad about that one thing, but there might have been 5 other things they could have done for you. And then 2, other people who are trying to build are not going to want to mess with you. They're going to be like, wow, if you're going off on that person, then what's going to happen if you get mad at me? I thought about that. I talked to a guy once who said, he was single. He's a nice guy, had a little bit of money and everything. And he was checking out this woman on social media to see if he might ask her out on a date. And one day he saw her on social media blasting her ex-husband. Her ex-husband had apparently hurt her feelings. So she went on Facebook and wrote a long 1,000-word post about how he did this and did that and did her dirty and stole money and blah, blah, blah. I mean, laid all his stuff, cheated on her and blah, blah. And he instantly, he told me about it. And he said, what do you think? I said, oh, you need to run. No. And he was already leaning in that direction. You see, so the thing is, when you start really acting a damn fool, people are always watching. Smart people that are strategic, if they're thinking about partnering with you or offering you a job, they want to do the interview when you don't even know you're being interviewed. I've had that happen where I'm interviewing somebody for a job and they don't even know that they're being considered. I don't even tell them, because I want to see the real you. I need to know how you really act, not how you act when you're trying to get something from somebody. I need to know who you really are. And so a lot of times people are watching you from a distance. You may not even know it. So how you carry yourself is very important. Always lead with love, help people, be helpful, be supportive, be kind, be nice to everyone, because you do not know who's watching and what the implications might be. Let's see, Trenton, I'm 26. I'm a senior at Grambling State University. Good for you. Majored in math and physics. I'm passionate about education, specifically math. Please help me with the best way to make a profit. Private tutoring, learning centers, grants. I don't want to work corporate after I graduate. Well, number one, Trenton, while you're in school, I used to make money tutoring people in math. That was a great way. That was a good cash business. And then I've seen people start tutoring services where you hire other people to take some of the appointments for you. So you just focus on getting the clients and they help serve the clients and you pay them a fee. A lot of these educational services, they make a killing. So you may want to go study like Sylvan Learning Center and what their business model is and how they do it. And that's probably a great way to make a lot of money. But also if you're good at math, I would say this, when I was getting my PhD in finance, a lot of our graduates were making good money. Like I think right now, doctorates in finance make over $200,000 a year on their first academic job. So if you have a math degree, you could probably do really well in a finance PhD program. So if you've ever thought about doing that, that's and you're into that type of stuff, that might be a career option you might look into. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. I wish you good luck. Congratulations. Very proud of you. Let's see. Okay. Hello, doctor. Nice to see you live. Thanks for your wisdom and knowledge, says Jessica Rabbit. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. How can I take a Series 7 exam without sponsorship, says Thomas Smith? I have no idea. I wish I could tell you. I never did a Series 7. And so I can try to Google it, but I don't know much about that. Let's see here. Radio 331, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all the drive-by media is mind control. Absolutely. Hello, Dr. Boyce. How do we subscribe to your school, even if we live in Paris? Says Frank. Just go to theblackbusinessschool.com, THE, that's theblackbusinessschool.com. We have students all over the world, including Paris. We have about 79,000, I think, something like that. So theblackbusinessschool.com, you can get started for free. And then you can look around and decide if you want to participate in any of the other programs. We hope that you'll consider participating, because we are better than whatever college you might have went to, because we know how to do more for a lot less money. Ethiopified. Is it a good idea to take a loan up to 30K to start a small cafe restaurant? Yeah, just do your research. Just make sure you know where your customers are going to come from. If you have a customer, then you have a good business. I mean, if you have a customer and you can buy low, sell high, meaning don't overspend to serve the customer and give them what they want, then you're going to be fine. Also, when you get your customers, start asking them what they want. Talk to them. Survey them. Just go around and say, what else can we do to serve you? How can we help you? That goes a long way in figuring out how to give the customer what they need in order to get what you need. You need support for your business. They might need donuts to go with their coffee. They might need entertainment. They might need something else that doesn't cost you a lot of money to offer. So always figure out ways to serve the customer better. Like Uber has to do that, because Uber actually loses a lot of money. It's a very big money losing company. Uber loses more money than almost every company on earth. And so what they're doing is their strategy though is they're to spend a whole bunch of money acquiring a big audience, and then they're figuring out how to monetize as they go along. So they're adding these extra services. Uber Eats, I think they got Uber Tours now, where you can go to a city and an Uber driver can give you a tour of the city. They got a lot of stuff like that. So ultimately, once you get a customer base, you can figure out ways to serve them, and that's how you monetize the business. So one of the ways. Let's see here. Cynthia, my daughter wants to start her own business, and I was going to help. What is a good investment start? I wouldn't put a bunch of money into it. I would try to see what you can do with very little money. Maybe figure out what the basics are to just get started. Don't start big without knowing what's going to work. That's just my belief. That what they call the MVP concept, which is minimum viable product. Do not start with we're going to put all of our family wealth into this business, every penny, our whole life savings. That's not very safe. Is there a way I can be forgiven for a student loan I've been paying off for 20 years? Tommy, I don't know. I don't know the specifics of loan forgiveness. I think one of these politicians is going to come up with a loan forgiveness program. It'll probably be for people that make incomes below 100,000. That's one of the few things I think Democratic politicians have provided that makes sense. That's actually beneficial to a lot of Americans. A lot of the other stuff, I don't, like for example, the conversation about borders and detention centers and all that. That's not going to affect the majority of the American people. That's just like a vanity issue, right? That's not something that or whether or not men and women can use the same bathroom and or we should have gender neutral bath. Like that's not going to affect people in the areas that really matter. But I think student loans, that's their big win. If they go hard on the student loan issue and really come up with a proposal that can actually pass, where they can eliminate a lot of student loan debt, that will be huge for a lot of people. It's gonna cause some big economic problems for the country, though. We're sinking deeper and deeper in debt. It's not gonna go backward, and I mean, because most of that student loan stuff shouldn't even exist in the first place. Let's see here. Wait, what? Your school reaches beyond the USA. Here, I was always wondering what I could do since I'm in Canada. Oh yeah. The Black Business School is global. Yeah, we have students from all over the world. In fact, if you're from another country right now, shout it out so people can see that you're from another country. Ronnie says, "Sup, Doc? You're awesome, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that." And Bomo, thank you for your compliment as well. I appreciate that. That means a lot when you guys say stuff like that. I really appreciate that. Would you name the overclass that Dr. Anderson refers to again? I think he's talking about the black overclass, like the bougie Negroes who are trying to get, who are trying to basically sell the black community so they can get more power and get more money, stuff like that. Let's see here. Techu says, "Peace, family. What are your thoughts on Bernie Sanders having to sit down with a stripper?" I didn't know about that. Is that really he did? Why was he talking to a stripper? Let me see. I'm gonna type in. Let me Google that. Let me see. Hit the thumbs up button, please. And if you're on Facebook, if you could share this to your page, I would appreciate that very much. Let me see. Bernie Sanders stripper. Oh, Cardi B. Well, yeah. I mean, uh, yeah. Well, remember, Cardi B is the female Bill Cosby anyway. I mean, she actually literally talked about drugging men and taking and raping their pockets, right? Women don't rape men for their bodies, they rape them for their money, right? So basically, she's the female version of what Bill Cosby would be if he was a woman. So I think that that's really fascinating that, when Cosby gets caught up in his situation, his accusations, it's seen as the worst crime that anybody could ever commit against anyone, which it is. I mean, nobody would ever advocate for that crime at all on any level. But Cardi does something very, very similar, something that's equally devastating to the men, tragic and humiliating and very hurtful. And there's no concern about that. She's legitimized and at a level she's never been legitimized before. I think that speaks to the reason that I'm not personally supporting the Democrats or the Republicans, because I feel that the Democratic Party, which is the only party I'd considered voting for out of the two major parties, I abandoned the Democratic Party because I feel that they've abandoned me as a black man. I don't feel black men are safe, when they're supporting things like the Me Too movement, or constantly, either ignoring and neglecting what black men are going through or referring to us as these carriers of toxic masculinity. Fuck that. I don't need all that shit. I don't need you constantly telling me something's wrong with me, so constantly telling me that I'm a bad person, telling me that people that are like me are no good. Fuck you. You're no good. Like, seriously, I'm sorry. Excuse my French. It's late at night, so I'm a cuss. But seriously, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear any of that. Like, no, you need to respect us. Black men are going through hell. In Chicago, did you know 45% of all the black males in Chicago between the ages of 20 and 24 do not have a job and are not in school? You ain't got nothing to say about that. Do you know how many thousands, tens of thousands of black families have been broken apart because of nonviolent drug convictions that are 20, 25 years old? And you gonna go expect me to cry over like some people that came from another country? Like you talk about these, you're putting kids in cages and the immigrants this and the immigrants that. I'm sorry, I'm not an immigrant. Black people are not immigrants. African Americans live here. And I'm sorry, it doesn't mean I don't care about those poor people. I mean, I wish them the best, but I mean, it's downright disrespectful. It's really disrespectful. And so, yeah, if you want to talk about that class of black men who are the reason that the Democrats don't have the black support they had in the past, I am of that class because I refuse to be disrespected. You're not going to sit here and shit on me and then get my support. I don't turn around and kiss people who crap all over me. That doesn't make any sense. So that's how I see it. That's how I feel. That's where I stand. I think that the Democrats, unfortunately, when they're letting black men like Albert Wilson go to prison, Albert Wilson went to prison 12 years after being accused of raping a white girl. And he never, I mean, this girl was all over him. She wanted to sleep with him. They were together for 5 minutes. He didn't even penetrate her. There's no evidence that they had any sex. And people are still trying to convince me somehow that this makes sense. And like even one of my black friends texted me and said, well, you don't actually have to have sex with somebody to be accused of rape. I said, yeah, but where's the evidence that he actually raped her? I don't see any evidence, and you're calling everything rape, which is just insane to me. It doesn't make any sense. So I feel like black men are in danger. I really do. I feel like, the whole conversation that says, if a man goes to work and a woman wants to sleep with him, and if he sleeps with her, then somehow he's a predator. Like, no, he's not a predator. If he, how can you be the predator when you were the prey? That doesn't make it. When she's coming after you, you're not the prey. I don't get that. It's just crazy to me. And what it is to me is it's a manifestation of a gender war that white folks have been having with each other for a long time. And in this gender war, they're just kind of making things up as they go along. And I can't. I'm too smart for that. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not the stupidest guy either. So, I don't get it. I don't like it. It bothers me very, very much. So if you want to know what pisses me off, that's one of the things that pisses me off. So I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, it's okay. It's your right not to, but I'm not going to vote against my own interests. I just don't believe in doing that. I really admire and respect you for what you do. I really believe you love and care about our people. Thank you, Teresa. I do. I mean, it has to make sense. That's it. That's all it is. It just has to make sense. If it don't make sense, I'm not going to do it. Sorry. I don't care if everybody else is doing it. Then that just means the world done went crazy. Erica, Dr. Boyce, you should make an inspirational video. I've done like 10,000 videos, so I'm sure you can go find some stuff out there. I got to put a bunch of stuff. Let's see here. What do you think about the current stock market trend? I think that it's good. It's a good place to make money. If you've been investing, you're probably making money. So if you're a stock market investor, you've been making money. Just say, I've been making money, and so other people can see it. I'm just telling you guys, those who are figuring out where the money's at, the money's in the stock market. That's where the money's at. See, Paperboy Forever says voting has changed nothing for people of color. Well, it's funny. I asked people on my Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins, and I asked them. I said, besides fighting with Donald Trump, can you name 3 things that your lawmakers have accomplished for you in the last 2 years? Besides fighting about Donald Trump, what have they accomplished? And people were like, no, I can't think of anything. And the other thing that I thought was funny was I was looking at the way Fox News was talking about Obama when he got elected. So back in 2008, 2009, 2010, they were calling Obama, they were comparing Obama to Hitler. And now Trump's in office. So now the Democrats are comparing Trump to Hitler. Back in 2010, 2011, they were saying Obama hates white people. Now they're saying Trump hates black people. So basically, whoever is not in power is going to compare the current president to Hitler and basically call them a racist. That's what they're going to do. I'm not going to say Trump's not a racist. I don't think Trump likes black people that much. But I think he likes some black people. He likes, people like Diamond and Silk and Kanye West and people that support his interests. He doesn't like black people who don't agree with him, right? So, I don't like him. So, but does that mean I don't like white people? No, I got white people. My homeboy Bernie Rising was on here. Bernie's white. And I grew up with Bernie. I like Bernie, but I don't like Donald Trump. Does that make me a racist? No, it doesn't make me a racist. It just means there's some white people I like, some I don't. So I think that this whole conversation, like, is he a racist? Not only is it relatively irrelevant in the sense of like, okay, so if he doesn't like black people and we it's a racist system. I just don't really know where that really plays out in terms of you voting or not voting or doing what's best for your family. But also, I think that we overuse it to the point where it means nothing anymore. Like people are eventually not going to care if you call them racist or sexist, because you're calling everybody racist if they don't agree with you. You're calling everybody sexist if they don't agree. If you're calling everybody racist who doesn't agree with you, then eventually people are not going to care. They're not going to pay attention. It's just like the whole conversation on sexual assault. Before we were clear on what a sexual assault was, then they started trying to create terms like rape culture and stuff like that, and really basically say, well, if you asked a woman on a date 2 times on the job and she didn't want to go out with you, then that's an unwanted sexual advance, which makes you a predator, which makes you just like a rapist. Well, I mean, eventually people are gonna be like, damn, like, so if I look at a woman's ass, I'm a rapist now? Like, really? Like, it makes you look a little bit extreme. It makes the Democrats unelectable, because they have gone so far to the left. They've gotten so radical, so ridiculous in their rhetoric, that if they don't become more moderate, they're not going to win. So the extremists are not going to be able to beat Trump. That's just reality, because Trump is really a symptom. He's a product of the fact that you are ignoring half the country. You can't. I'm just sorry. I think for practical purposes, you're trying to win elections. You can't win an election by calling half the country racist. You can't. You just can't. It's not going to happen. Right. So if you want Trump in office, then keep doing it. Keep saying every Trump supporter everywhere, no matter who you are, even if you're black, you're a racist. Well, guess what? It's going to happen. Those people are going to get pissed off. They're going to silently whoop your ass. They're not going to say anything, because they know that they don't have freedom of speech anymore. You're going to attack them just because they expressed an opinion that's different from yours, because you're acting like a bully. So every time somebody wants to call Trump a bully because he's up here, angry tweeting from his toilet, about whatever pisses him off. Well, the same way we call Trump a bully, they can call you a bully too. If you're shutting people down and telling people that you're a racist and you're a bad person because you voted for somebody other than me, well, you're being a bully, because you're killing that person's right to free expression. So in this space, I'm just telling y'all point blank period, this is not a space for stupid people. This is a space for intelligent black people. In this space, I don't care if you voted for Trump. I don't care if you voted for Hillary. I don't care if you voted for Santa Claus. At the end of the day, as long as you're voting for black people, you are fine with me. I really don't care who you voted for. Let's keep going. Let's see. Let's switch the topic. Somebody asked, all the way from South Africa. Okay, all right. Who's that? Maxwell from South Africa. I love South Africa, man. I went to South Africa a couple of years ago, and it was a lot of fun. I went to Botswana too. How much would you sell a black business school share of stock for? Says Erica. Nothing. Oh, we're not gonna offer shares of stock. I guess if we could do an IPO where all of our owners were black or something, we'd consider it. But you gotta own your own stuff, because we have a mission that's very unique. We're just not mainstream, and I don't want anybody watering down what we do. Black people need truth with straight, with no chaser. Like, we need radical shifts in how we do everything. We need to confront the culture head on and modify everything, starting with how we educate our kids, the media that we consume, how we go about earning our income, what we do with the income that we have. We have to be radical about that. And so by being independent, we could be radical. If we were all trying to be part of a racist system, we'd have to sneak and duck and hide and do all these secret underground agendas and all that, and it would just make us look stupid and crazy. There was like one of my friends, she got a PhD in education, and she was like, I want to really educate black kids and make their lives better. And I was like, okay, I think that's really cool. I think that's great. Good for you. And I said, well, why don't you start a school? She's like, no, I'm going to go work for this school, which was a school that was run by a bunch of white folks. And they'd had federal funding and all that, so they could pay her a salary, because she didn't really want to learn like the process of building her own. She went to go work for these people that were not black, but most of their students were black. They were using the kids as like this cash cow. That's what happens. People, our kids are like they're a paycheck for people, almost like foster parenting, right? A lot of foster parents are in it for the money. A lot of educators are in it for the money. They make money off our kids like crazy, even if our kids don't get educated. So she goes to this school, and she is like the greatest thing ever with these kids, right? The kids love her. She connects with them. They form bonds. She becomes like a mother figure. She starts to care about the kids. She's really, really helping them to really develop in all these amazing ways. And then one day her boss calls her into the office and says, we don't need you anymore. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, you can go now. You can pack your stuff, and we'd like for you to leave in the next hour. And she could not say goodbye to the kids. She was not allowed to finish up any project she started. She was not allowed to follow up with any of the things that she'd begun. Some of the kids were on a journey, on a process where they were starting to develop. Nope, none of that. All that got shut down because her boss decided that she didn't need to be there anymore. So that's the danger that you run into when you're kind of locked into stuff where it's only controlled by people who don't really have the best interests of you or your people at heart, you know. And so and I felt bad for her when she told me about it. I was like, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know, I think you should have your own school. I think that there are mothers out here and fathers out here who would trust you as a Black educator to educate their kids, even if you had a damn little schoolhouse in your living room where you could take 10 kids at a time. But those would be your damn kids. If all those mothers got together, if they really love their kids, they'll come up with $250 a month to give you or whatever, enough for you to pay some bills, you know, and maybe you start a little business so y'all can make some extra income. I'll make a donation to the school. You know, I mean, the point is, at the end of the day, you know, we gotta like go backward to what our ancestors did after slavery to survive. They built better schools out of slavery than you building today after integration, because you're so busy trying to be white, you don't forget how to be Black. You know, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Our kids coming out of school 18 years old, can't even read, got to go work at McDonald's, and they need pictures of the food on the cash register because they don't know how to add and subtract. Seriously, you don't forget who you are. You really have forgotten who you are. You forgot how great you are. You forgot how meaningful your culture is. You forgot how important it was for you to stick together. You forgot what it means for a Black child to be mentored on a daily basis by somebody who looks like them. You forgot the power that you have when you have your own. See, so I'm going to tell you like this. My thinking is I don't really give a shit if I ain't got hardly nothing. At least it's mine. At least I get to decide. You know, I know the Black Business School ain't Harvard, you know, in terms of resources. I know that we don't have billions of dollars to do a billion things at once. I know that, you know, we do a lot of stuff digitally because actually we tried to get a building. We didn't have the money at that time. We're going to get it later. All that stuff is going on, but it's mine. It's ours. You know, and I know that my PhD is just as valuable now as it was, more valuable now actually than it was when I was at Syracuse University. When those kids were paying $60,000 a year to learn from people like me, I wasn't any more intelligent, any more capable than I am right now. In fact, I'm more capable now because being with my own people unleashes my superpower. Black men, great Black men and great Black women, when you're working with other great Black people, it is an accelerant that unleashes your greatness and your potential, because you get to be exactly who the hell you were supposed to be instead of walking around here pretending to be a white man in black skin. A lot of y'all walk around here lying, just pretending, trying to faking and doing dumb shit that you know is stupid, but you do it because everybody else does it, and everyone else in the corporation behaves this way, so I might as well behave so I can fit in, so I can get the raise and the promotion. Shut up, man. That's stupid. Stupid. Like, figure out who the hell you are and be that person. Just be the best version of that person that you can be, and it'll work out. It all comes together. White people ain't magical. Shit, stop it. If anybody's magical, it's you. I think we got black girl magic, Black boy magic, Black people magic. We are magical. We are amazing. We are off the chain in terms of all the things that we've been able to accomplish. Everything we touch turns to gold. Everything we wear becomes more extraordinary, becomes a fashion trend. Everything we do it at a level that nobody else can do. And so I believe, you know what? I don't have any problem with white supremacists. Honestly, the reason I don't have any problem with white supremacists and speaking their mind or whatever is for two reasons. One, because they don't have any power over me. If you're in an internet chat room and you're just running your mouth, I don't really care about that. In fact, I've had friends that have gotten killed. None of them got killed by white people. Most of them got killed by Black people. So, you know, they just don't scare me. The second reason is, I'm probably a little bit, I'm not going to say I'm a Black supremacist, because I don't want to say that, because I don't really know another way to express it. But I am a person who has a sense of superiority about my Blackness. And so I'm not going to I don't want to take away a white man's right to exhibit white power or to express his love for whiteness, because I don't want anybody to take away my right to express my love for Blackness. I don't want anybody, because what they do is they neutralize you, they neuter you with all this race neutral, gender neutral approaches to everything. So they're like, we're going to eradicate racism, which means that after we take out the white supremacists, we're going to take out the so-called black supremacists. After we eliminate white power, we're going to arrest people for saying that they have black power, right? I don't want that to happen. I really don't. Like, I'm not scared of the competition. I'm not scared to compete with a white supremacist. Like, fine, okay, you think you're superior to me, then let's go head to head. I'll show you that I'm smarter than you, because I don't need to censor you to kick your ass, right? I'm not a disabled kid. I'm not the handicapped kid who needs to be given extra points. I can defeat your ass head up, point blank, straight up, man to man, mano a mano up in this mug, because I'm not scared of you. I don't care if you have freedom of speech and freedom of expression, because I want to have freedom of speech and freedom of expression, because I believe I can express myself in a better way than you anyway, right? So I think that we kind of have to stop letting ourselves be treated like we are this disabled group of people, that we are somehow in this like we're like this endangered species, like endangered whales that have to be protected. And we can protect ourselves. I really believe Black people can protect ourselves. I just think that we lost our desire to do that, because we lost our desire and ability to compete. You ready, babe?
Hey, babe, I just came down to see you.
Oh, okay. I was just.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm glad you came in, because you need to shut me down, because I'm saying a bunch of shit that's gonna get me in trouble.
What are you talking about?
I was just saying that I hate it when people walk around trying to shut down freedom of speech of so-called white supremacists or white power people.
Oh,
because
that's wonderful.
Well,
you can say that.
Because if you kill their freedom of speech, you Black people are gonna be next. People like me gonna be next. Yeah. Why do you think they shutting down Farrakhan? They're like, well, because we have an anti-racism policy and we think Farrakhan's a racist. Well, again, everything that they it may start with them. Everything they do with them, they're eventually going to do to us. And so I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of expression, freedom of ideas. If I want to compete with you, I'm going to compete with you in the space of ideas. My ideas will be better than yours. I'm not going to compete with you by censoring you. I think that that's tacky and it's stupid, and it's basically the strategy of the petty, the strategy of the weak, the strategy of the disabled. I'm not a disabled person. I'm a grown ass man. I'm intelligent enough to defend my ideas, and I'm not scared because some toothless hillbilly in backwater Tennessee wants to get on the internet and be mad at Black people. So what? Be mad. In fact, I'm gonna find 1,000,001 reasons to make you madder, because I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna win.
Gotcha.
And I know, and that's the thing. That's what we have to understand as Black people, is that when you're winning, people are gonna get mad. It's just supposed to happen that way, So anyway, I'm gonna go. It is time for me to get off the internet. So I enjoy talking to you guys. I'll do another Q&A pretty soon. Hit the thumbs up button, please, before you go. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please share the video if you're on Facebook. Oh, so Denise says, Dr. Boyce, please give advice for women whose husbands play Xbox.
Oh, ooh. Well, I say play a game with them.
Yeah, I would. I think that there was a time where men playing video games, grown men playing video games, was like weird, but I don't think it's weird anymore, because a lot of gamers have grown up and they're grown men. I don't play video games anymore per se, but I thought about it just as something different to do. I don't think it's necessarily something for kids anymore, right? So I think that as long as it's playful and as long as it's not overbearing, it's okay. But like if he's always in front of the PlayStation controller, then that's an issue, right? So maybe it's a matter of putting a time limit on it. But I'm a big believer that in letting your partner be who they are, letting them enjoy their lives, letting them be as happy as they can be, as long as they're not hurting you in some way, and they will appreciate you for that. Like I think if I'm a gamer, if I'm a guy that loves to play my games or watch my football, if my woman supports that, if she's like, hey, I know you like to watch your game, so I got you a beer or whatever to that you can drink while you watch your game, then a man appreciates that stuff. I don't know how much men appreciate a woman that's going to constantly tell them that they can't do the things that they love. Like I knew a guy, I had a good friend who loved to watch football on Saturdays. College football was like his thing. Every Saturday he had his routine. When he was a single guy, he'd have his popcorn and his drink, and he would just sit there and watch football all day. And he started dating this girl who gave him shit because he wanted to watch football. Every time he watched football, she'd stomp around, she'd be mad, she'd be mean or whatever. And he dumped her because he was like, I'm not happy now with you because you're making me feel bad for being who I am, for doing what I want to do. And so he married another girl who supported him, who was happy that, that she was happy when he was happy. So I think that as long as the video game playing is like, not extreme, I don't think it's a bad thing. But like if you got a man who's sitting at home in his drawers playing Xbox 8 hours, 10 hours a day instead of going to work, then that's an issue, right? That might not be the man for you, because
She wants him to pay attention to her.
I think that you can pay. I think he can do that. I just think it can be a mixed bag, right? I think that you can just boundaries, like establishing boundaries goes a long way. But I'm a big believer in letting people be themselves, So like even with you, like if I'm judging what you're doing, if it makes you happy, then my default response is to encourage it. Because if I encourage you to be happy, that means you're going to be happier in general, which means you're going to be happier with me, which means that I win. Right. But if I'm the constant source of stress and limitation on your happiness, then you might, out of respect for me, stop doing something you love because you're making me happy. You might say, well, I really like to, I really like to eat peanut butter. And because Boyce doesn't, if Boyce doesn't like it when I eat peanut butter, I'm going to stop. You might do it for me, but eventually what happens is I'm going to keep, what's the word? I'm going to overplay my hand. I think sometimes in relationships, people overplay their hand. Like they see somebody that's accommodating, somebody that adjusts for them constantly. Like maybe because I'm insecure, I don't want you even having no conversations with other men. I've seen that. Like for example, using that with women. Yeah, I've seen women really over cater to a man's insecurities about other men, like where he's barking at every dude that is within 100-mile radius. What I find though is that but what happens is eventually that like wears out. Like eventually she just gets tired of it, and then eventually she's like, well, I'm gonna go. And then next thing you know, like she's dating whoever she wants. And you can't say anything because you were mad because she, had lunch with that one guy, or because she works with that one guy that you didn't like.
You're getting into a whole other topic.
No, I've seen that. Like these are I'm referencing like real life examples that I've actually seen. Like I've seen situations where there was a woman who, was her career was kind of taken off. So as a result, she would meet people, and sometimes she would meet men, and she was pretty. And so these men would, try to hit on her and stuff like that. And her husband was like overbearingly like, who's that? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. No, she's coming with me, and she went along with all that, but eventually it became stifling for her. And so what happened was,
are they still together? Or
no, she got rid of his ass. Because I don't think any woman likes a tiny ass man who's mentally small and threatened by every damn thing that happens to you. And a man doesn't like a tiny ass, jealous ass woman. Like it eventually wears people down. Like at first they're like, okay, you want me to put on blue socks? Okay, I'll put on blue socks. Or you want me to, tiptoe, tap dance, whatever. Like they'll do all that. Then eventually they just are like, I don't have to do all that. So they move on. And I was thought about it. I said he really lost because, before he was all upset because, maybe she knew one guy or would have a conversation with this guy or that guy every now and then. But now she can do whatever she wants and he can't do anything. So he traded in the power that he had, a lot of power that he had, for no power. Now he has no power and no say over her life.
Well, maybe he's in a happier situation.
No, he's not happy. He's begging her to come back.
Is he really?
Yeah.
So this is someone you have to tell
Absolutely.
me who he is.
No, I will. But no. I mean, that he lost. She's gone. Like when somebody's
just wasn't
when somebody. That's the other thing too. You got to be cautious about being, about making somebody like sick of you, because if they get sick of you, they can get to the point where they're just done. Like they can't go backward. Like they, if they're just sick of you and they physically have physical symptoms of illness, because when you even open your damn mouth, like that's a dangerous place to be, because then what's happened is you've how they get people like how they will give people these drugs to make them stop drinking by making them physically sick every time they drink. So they're associating sickness with alcohol. Have you heard about that? Yeah, like people do that in relationships. Like if you're constantly making your partner sick to their stomach, like pissing them off, annoying them, getting on the nerves, making them not want to be around you, then eventually they start to form a repulsion to you, and they won't want to be around you at all. So literally, you could literally show up and say, "I've got flowers for you. I want to take you to dinner, and I think you're amazing." But they're not going to hear that because their brain, their subconscious, I believe, has already linked into this idea that you're something that makes me sick. So my thought is, my belief is that I want to be associated with good feelings for you. I want you, when someone says my name, I always want that to be something that creates comfort, happiness, peace, fulfillment, etc., as opposed to anxiety. So that goes a long way in relationships. So that's what I would say. Be somebody's peace, be somebody's support mechanism, because at the end of the day, people only give you power. You've only got power in somebody's life because they've given it to you. If you overplay that hand, like if you think that you have a right to tell somebody what to do, eventually that power gets taken away, and then you end up going backwards. So anyway, I'm gonna go. So it was fun talking to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Y'all saw me. I got into all kinds of stuff, but it was a fun discussion. So I will talk to you soon, and have a good night, and talk to you later. Bye bye.